Hello, this is Ryan Hoff, Director of Government Relations for the Association of Indiana Counties, with a preview of the upcoming 2022 legislative session. The 2021 legislative session has only just been completed, with passage of new legislative and new congressional maps in late September, and the 2022 session is already beginning. The General Assembly formally met for the first time during their annual Organization Day on November 16th. While the legislature would typically wait until after the holidays before considering bills, they have already jumped into committee hearings on legislation aimed toward ending the public health emergency declaration and limiting employers' ability to mandate vaccines. While we watch for potential schedule changes based on this particular bill, look for the full legislature to reconvene on January 4th to kick off the usual proceedings of the short session. Because there won't be consideration of the state budget this year, the session must be completed by March 15th. However, it is likely that it will end a few days in advance of that deadline. While AIC will be diligently watching all bills for potential impacts to counties, I wanted to bring to your attention a few major issues that we expect to see legislation on this coming session. The General Assembly has been discussing a considerable reduction in the business personal property tax on businesses in Indiana. As you know, the property tax, including business personal property tax, is a local revenue source that all local units depend on to provide services that Hoosiers rely on. If the General Assembly sees fit to provide a tax cut, AIC will work to make sure that it is paid for from state resources and not county funds. After all, while the state may have considerable budget reserves, counties generally do not. Not only would reduction of the business personal property tax have major impacts on revenues for local taxing units, it would also shift considerable burden onto other classes of property taxpayers, including homeowners. Last session, there was a significant effort to remove local authority to provide planning and zoning approvals for industrial-scale wind and solar generation development. AIC opposed that legislation, as county officials believe there must be local decision-making to assure that such developments are compatible with existing land uses and development plans. Thousands of megawatts of renewable energy have already been approved by county officials, showing that counties are open to such developments where appropriate. Projects are happening with existing local controls in place, and we urge the General Assembly to allow such authority to continue. Further, when the General Assembly provided much-needed investment in local road and bridge infrastructure back in 2017, they also put into place a restriction on how the motor vehicle highway account could be used by locals, requiring that 50% of that fund be used on construction, reconstruction, or preservation of infrastructure. We greatly appreciate the investment made, which has, among other investments, increased the MVH fund of about 25 to 35% for counties. The 50% restriction, however, means that a significant portion of the fund that was previously unrestricted is now limited in how counties can use it. This has created cash flow issues for many counties in administering their highway department. And we ask that the General Assembly approve a change to that restriction, lowering the threshold to about 40% and allowing winter operations to be included in the restricted spend. These and literally hundreds of other issues will be up for discussion during this upcoming legislative session. But now is the perfect time to reach out to legislators to let them know your thoughts on these and any other issue that may be of interest or concern before the hustle and bustle of legislative session really sets in. Please let us know what discussions you have, as it helps us during session to know what feedback they've already received. During session, we will alert you further when we need timely outreach from county officials to legislators. But these topics are definitely up for discussion, and we hope to have you make your thoughts known to them in advance of bills being filed. Thank you for your time, and keep an eye out for further legislative information as we move toward January. This has been Ryan Hoff with your AIC Legislative Preview.